Hey guys, November 2nd, Sunday today. Gonna try to see how much stuff we can get done in the garage today. A few other things going on, but we made a run for some parts yesterday, and Dad wrenched in the garage here this past week a little bit. So we'll talk about kind of what we've had going on, what we're gonna plan on doing this weekend through next week. So started off, Dad's got the ZRT here in a little work area. He did replace the spindle bushings in the ZRT, both sides. So got the skis a little bit tighter than last year, so that will help for sure. Then planning on pulling the skid frame, maybe today, maybe this week. We'll see how far we get, but at least the front end on the ZRT here is done. And so here we have the Polaris track. I'll throw in a little clip here of me drilling the holes. So I recorded drilling there and just put the rest of the studs in. Everybody's seen us stud tracks here the last few years, so nothing too different to watch there, but happy to get this done. So now to get the track swap on the Polaris here. Never done it before. Be a learning experience for sure. And we had another box of Speedwerx goodies show up, so hopefully get those in some of the clutches here this week too. And then yesterday, we made a run up to Roseau to the Hatteen Heritage Racing Shop. So shout out to Alex Hatteen helping us out a little bit this year. Both Evan and Alex said they were going to help us when we talked to them initially about switching to Polaris, so I appreciate that. So Alex gave us some new parts, some used parts that we're really stoked about. So we'll see what Alex gave us here. So Alex helped us with a seat. So we'll be cutting this one down this next week to get ready for the ice setup. Don't bother asking Alex for any used brake pads. We took them all and some brake rotors, so that was nice. Used, but definitely help us burn some laps in at Pine Lake without burning up some new stuff. We got some 121 DuPont High-Fax from his Axis days, so that'll be nice to fit up on the Pro X2. So appreciated that too. So we'll see how far we get today. This video might stretch a few days through the week here or something, but I don't know. We'll get tearing down on this Polaris, see how far we can get clutches, chain and gears, pull a skid out, track, do a track swap. And do a track swap, I'll be happy, because then we're our buddy VS3 with Fox, he shipped out our shocks on Friday, so then we'll get those here this next week. So with pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. So like I had said in the other video, no idea how this hood comes off, but yeah, we'll figure it out and have yet to put a wrench to this thing. So yeah, it's gonna be a learning curve, but we'll see how it goes here. Well, approximately 5 seconds later, hood removal, very easy. So more or less learning a new sled. Probably be taking a few more bolts off than I need. But we're taking this gas tank cover shroud off to mount up our gauge cluster here. We're gonna mount it right about here because our buddy Luke Van Lysel mounted it there, and it kind of gets it off the handlebars, and kind of just being we switched reservoirs here, we had to move that a little bit farther to the right for a longer brake lever. So to get it off the handlebar, we'll kind of just mount it here below. Just kind of clean up the bar setup here a little bit. So taking this off, we just have the rope here just off to the side, pulled back. Just kind of looking everything over as we're going, learning, seeing why they did this, why they did that. All kind of interesting stuff to look something over while we're taking it apart for the first time. Lots of pictures. So I guess I like to work at one side of the sled at a time, just to get left side all done here. We got the footwell out. Looks to be like that's all we need to take out. Take the bottom drive shaft out. Got the secondary clutch off. Always make sure you get all the washers off behind the secondary clutch. You don't want to leave any on there when you tip it on the side and you hear something roll around in the belly pan. Don't ask me how I know. So always look for that. But yeah, looks like we're making some progress. But then coming around to the right side here, we're going to pull this exhaust off. And then, yeah, go about pulling that brake rotor and chain case cover off and all sorts. So learning as we go here. And we are the one-man wrecking crew in here today. Dad had to go help the farmer, so go help the farmer while the sun's shining, but it's not shining right now. It's blowing 30, 40 mile an hour winds, so I bet you he's having fun. Well, only have 4 exhaust springs, but that exhaust is in there tight, so that thing is not going to rattle around, so that's good. So with the caliper, 2 bolts in the back side here. The front one is really easy to get to. This back one, right there with my finger, you can see back there. Pretty tight to get a ratchet behind there, so we'll see if we can make that a little bit easier to get on and off to pulling this caliper off. So one bolt we might try something different with to get a different kind of wrench in there. Custom. So far so good. Got the cover off. Stock looks like the 2241. So I think we'll be changing that. So we'll see what we end up running. But so far so good. Unlike the 4-stroke where we had to drop the oil tank and drain the engine oil just to get the chain case cover off. A little bit more, little simpler. Just pulling the cover off like an older sled almost. But one thing, drain plugs, a thing of the past. So I think even Alex Satine told me that they drill like a hole down here right in the bottom of the belly pan just to let the oil run out. But I undid the bottom 2 bolts in the belly pan, so then it's kind of loose down there with our drain pan. So drained into the pan, didn't make a mess. Keep everything nice and in order here. Our 2241 should be a 70 link chain. I'll count it to make sure, but so now it seems to be that we were done on this side. We did put 1 bolt in the caliper here just so it doesn't flop around. So our tipper on the side here with the side kick, pull the skid frame and pull them the other side drive shaft bolts out. Should be good to go. So like usual, whenever we got the sled tipped on the side like this, shout out to my boss man, Brady Deerdahl, the side kick. That's how you work on a sled on the side. We got the stand back here in the rear bumper, the stand up there in the steering post. So about a couple minutes there on the side, got the skid frame out. It's a little dirty, Evan. I didn't know when you ran it through the dirt, but oh boy. And about another minute later, drive shaft out. Actually, pretty easy with, you can see where that plate on the inside sits. This cover sits down in there like that. Pretty easy to pull out. Not like the old Gen 2 fights you a little bit more, but that was pretty easy. So, not gonna lie, I was a little nervous on doing this track swap, just switching brands, working on those Procross chassis the last eight years or so. And then with the 4-strokes being just a little more complicated than the 600, but switching, pretty happy with how easy this thing was to kind of work on, to at least do this track swap with the chain and gears and chain case and everything like that. So pretty happy with how easy the maintenance of that was, but we'll see once we start doing motor stuff and that sorts on if that's a whole nother ball game of sorts, because seems like all the manufacturers, they just kind of cram these motors in with all the wires around them and everything. So, but track swap, pretty easy. Shout out to our buddy KG, Kyle Grover. Called him twice just for some tips or tricks on how he did this or that. So yeah, shout out Kyle, helping me, Polaris guy. Okay, we didn't finish fully putting the track in on Sunday. So Tuesday evening now, just got home from work. Gonna throw the drive shaft and the track in just to get the track off the floor as a sharp tripping hazard. So we'll get the drivers in and track in here and then be done with this video. We did have our Fox shocks and our Woody stuff show up. Looking at getting our chain and gears here today, hopefully too. So then we have stuff for the upcoming video. So we'll get to this tracking. So this is how we usually do it, usually get the track up in there, sitting on the tunnel. And then usually these little stools are about the right height to just let it kind of sit on there. Sits perfectly in line. So now just slide the drive shaft in. Well, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Get her bolted up here. For a brand new sled, we have a brand new tube of blue Loctite. Very necessary. Well, we got our 6 bolts here, nice and tight. No idea what the torque spec on them is, but one Ugga Dugga felt enough. So now I'll tip it back down. So just like that, new track is in. What do you think of the new Polaris so far?
So far, it looks like it's pretty fast.
You said a lot of these parts look like the same parts that come off the old Gen 2.
A lot of the stuff is the same stuff from 2000.
Huh. Yeah, hopefully it's fast. Well, okay, that does it for our track swap video, learning how to work on our Polaris. So be sure to like, subscribe, follow along. We got our Fox box right here, our Woody's carbides. We'll have our chaining gears. We'll be cutting down the seat. So stay tuned. Plenty more wrenching to go.